Hi, y'all. Okie dokie. So this is the first call of March. I can't believe we are already in March. I was telling my husband, our freaking time is springing forward like Sunday. Like that's mind blowing to me. Am I the only one? Like where's time going? But anyways, so today we're gonna do something fun, and by fun I mean we're gonna get a little tough loving. We're just going to help each other be better, because I know like Instagram is pretty much where all of us are, and our storefront is Instagram. You know, what draws people to want to follow us, what makes people, believe in us, what makes people, trust us. Everything has to do with the storefront, and everything has to do with how the page looks, how you share your story, how you share your 5 things. And so whoever would like me to go over theirs to kind of use theirs as an example, put it in the comments, so I know who I can go through their Instagram, because it'll be helpful to have y'all's Instagrams. So, but I'm going to be looking for basically 4 things. I'll figure out how many things when I go, but it's the 5 things. So the 5 things that describe you, I need to know what that is before I even look at the bio. I'm looking for a color story, meaning that your colors aren't every single place. They are pretty cohesive. If you guys look at my page, and I'll kind of use it as an example a couple times, it's very cohesive. The story, the color story, it's all blues and, pastels and stuff like that. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for, is not my style, but whatever yours is. I'm looking for you sharing your story. So are you sharing what Beachbody is doing for you, or what this journey means to you, or are you just sharing sweaty selfies? And then I'm also looking for, are you using Instagram stories, and are you posting consistently? So we've got a couple people, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and go through, and then we can do Q&A, and I'll give some like tips and stuff for you guys to do actions after this. All right, so we've got Marissa first. All righties, I'm going to share. Y'all, don't get anxiety by seeing how many tabs I have open. I'm like the world's worst at having all the tabs open. Instagram. Okay. Not now. All right, so we have the little dot. That means she's storied today. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's perfect. I look for always like 10-ish. That's perfect. All right. Ooh, your page is looking good. So it's super bright. I'm not even looking at the bio right now. What I want to do, and I think I talked to Marissa about this the other day, is I want to be able to see what your 5 things are without having to look at the bio. And then I look at the bio and see if it describes what you're posting about. Because when people come to your page, they're going to look at your little bio, right? And they're going to read it and say, okay, so is she traveling? Is she fitness? Does she like balance? Does she love pizza? And then they're going to look at your page for things like that. And then they're going to be like, well, she says she's obsessed with pizza, but I don't see any pizza on there. So from hers, I see that she's obsessed with traveling. So I look at these first 9, because that's all people are going to look at. They're not going to scroll. They're going to look at those first 9. And so our first 9, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Y'all, I math so hard, let me tell you. But when people come to your page, they're not going to scroll. So you want your first 9 to always have one of each of your 5 things in it. So from her first 9, and then I'll go up and look, and I'll see if it matches what she is. But it looks like she loves to travel. She just got back from traveling. She's a girlfriend, so she's in a relationship. She's a foodie, maybe, or just likes pasta. That looks really good, though. I would never be able to make it. Loves coffee and is into fitness. And so that's 5 things that I see. And then so travel, coffee, craft beer, cooking. I see cooking. There was fitness. So the only thing I didn't notice was craft beer, but because I know her, it's right here. But from the first 9, there was 4 out of the 5 things. And so that's perfect. That is so whenever people are looking, if she's using travel hashtags, or if she's using hashtags about being a girlfriend or something like that, they're going to go to her page and see, okay, she's relevant to that hashtag. Like, I'm going to come to her page because she's got travel inspiration, or because she's got really good food pics or something like that. So that is really good. And I like how bright and like crisp her photos are. And I see that she's starting to get like a cohesiveness to them, just because they're all bright and crisp. They're not all necessarily in the same color scheme, but as long as they're all like you can see them. Because the worst thing is having dark photos because they blend in with all of Instagram. If you guys go and scroll on just some kind of hashtag. So let's see if I just go to, let me see, does she hashtag her photos? I'm trying to use this example. No, that's not hashtag. Let's see, hashtag fit mom. I'm just going to use that as an example. I want to show you guys what I mean whenever you want your pictures to be bright and stuff. So if you guys see this, like dull, 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 dull. Oh, that one's brighter. My eyes popped to that. Dull, 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 dull. I mean, do you guys kind of see what I'm saying? Like all of the pictures are just dull and boring. There's the brighter one, but you want yours to stick out. And if they're like this or like this, they're not going to stick out. That stuck out. It was super bright and animated and stuff like that. So it's just, you want your picture to stick out. Like homegirl's not sticking out. Homegirl's not sticking out. Sorry, but your coach doesn't teach. Like that's what I'm saying. You want to have pictures. And so if I looked at Marissa's, it sticks out because it's clear, it's crisp, it's not fuzzy. You can see her face. And she's got, so one thing I also look for is if you've got a variation of photos. So you don't want every single photo to be like, hi, selfie, or like sweaty or something like that. You want a good variation because y'all, we are beach body, but we're not all beach body. And so with here, she's got a close-up personal selfie right there, which is really nice selfie. By the way, you look really pretty in that picture. And then she's got a further away selfie up here. So it's not like close and close. And then she's got a couple food. The only thing I personally would do, and maybe this is just me because I'm like super OCD, I wouldn't have like food on top of food or food on top of coffee. I would have had them, but that's just me. I don't know. I'm weird. But then she's got her sweaty selfie down here, but her page isn't all sweaty selfies. So I like it. And I can tell she just started using an Instagram preset, like a Lightroom preset. Am I right, Marissa? Because like down here isn't as crisp as up here.
Yeah, I just started using a couple different ones to like brighten it up.
It looks dope, dude. It looks good. I love it. So now let me just see this. So this post was 2 hours ago. 13 hours ago, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, perfect, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. So she's posting at least once a day. That's another thing that we're looking. And so now let me look at the stories. So when I was little, I wanted to be a chef and open my own restaurant called Chi Pieces. I love Gilmore Girls. I'm obsessed. I used to call notepads. So this is a story. It's talking about why she loves nutrition and why she's starting to cook. That's perfect. Okay, something about snooze. It's perfect. So the only thing all I could focus on was my stomach legs, and I feel like weird, but then I was. Oh, I love that. So you're talking about your insecurities and talking about how you're getting over them. So I love that. So she's also telling stories. So Marissa, you're doing really good. The only thing I would say is maybe dig a little deeper. I know like you're new to the whole telling your story stuff, but I still feel like you could dig a little deeper. And that's going to come with personal development. But I think your page looks amazing. I don't really have anything to say other than you're doing a really good job. So let me look at the next one. Sarah Parks. Here we go. I know I'm never going to sugarcoat it with Sarah. You guys ready? I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. All right. Mama Crack's gone. I should probably not be drinking this at 9 o'clock. All right. So the first thing I see is, I mean, it's cohesive. The pictures are, I mean, she's brightened them. So I like how it's brightened here and there, but it's not, they're not all consistently brightened, I wouldn't say. Like there's a lot of, like different variations. I just wouldn't, I don't know. I don't think these photos would stop my scroll personally, but I can see that she's into balance. Hashtag pizza. I had pizza yesterday too, so I love it. And that she's into fitness and she is a wife and mama. I would do, so the only thing I could say here is you've got a lot of fitness and a lot of transformations, which is awesome. There's nothing wrong with sharing them, but I would break them up and also share, you know, pictures of your lifestyle, pictures of just you in a selfie, kind of like Marissa had, or, you know, up close, something to break it up and talk about who you are. Because like I said, we're so much more than fitness. We're so much more than beach body. We're so much more than that. And right here, all I really see is mom and fitness and food. And so I don't know, what is your 5 things? You can unmute yourself.
You're asking me?
Yeah, what are your 5 things?
I don't know. I always struggle with this because, like, I don't, like, obviously, like, I'm a wife, a military wife. Like, that is, like, a big thing for me to resonate with people.
I wouldn't know that, though.
Right.
And I'm you know me. I don't really sugar. Like I want to see maybe when he came home, you guys had a sign with Stevie and posted it and talked about the little bit of a story with that.
Right.
Or, you know, your military shopping, you could have done a picture with your husband or just you in the military store talking about how outrageous, like you talked about it in your stories, but you could have had it in your feed about how outrageously expensive and how stupid, because I still can't believe it, that you guys have to pay for uniforms.
It
you
is.
know? And so I would definitely tie in more, but like just knowing you, it would be, you're a mom, you're a toddler mom to a sassy little girl. Like that's a big thing. And you're an imperfectly perfect mom. So you're not trying to be a perfect mom. So you're like the hot mess mom. You love balance. You love food, everything food. Starbucks could be a really big one on you if you want to milk that, because I know how much you like Starbucks. So seeing pictures of Starbucks with you and stuff like that. And of course the military wife is a big one. And then your 5th one is something that is, you know, Starbucks and balance. Like that's your 5 things. Just take pictures with them. And I know you're in the beginning stages. So you're trying to think, okay, how can I, and that's when I started, I was like, how can I intertwine pictures? And like, if you go to my page, you will see, like, I even did a freaking photo shoot with Duncan, but like, I always have that's right. I was pumping gas. Like literally, you can see my car right here. I popped my phone up in the rear view mirror and was pumping, or no, in the pump, you know, where the 89 or whatever is, I stood it on there and took that picture.
Dude.
I know. People probably look at me like I'm an idiot. This is propped up.
I don't think like that though.
And then that's what I'm saying. This is after a year of doing this, what you're going to think of, but I'm trying to give you guys some ideas. And so like this was propped up on my car. Like I opened up my car side door and was outside of the shopping place. These are just all in the house. And, you know, so like, it's just kind of thinking a little bit outside of the box.
Right.
And always looking for a photo opportunity, because like, I don't go places. Like that's one thing with me. Like I don't leave my house like ever. And so when I pump gas and I finally look halfway presentable, screw it. I'm taking a picture. I'm sure people looked at me like, oh my God, what is this little heifer doing? But that's just kind of little opportunities. But anytime, like I see Starbucks all the time in your stories, because I watch your stories religiously, just take some pictures with them and talk about it. You know, so you can start establishing those 5 things. Because like if you go to, and I'm going to use Charmaine as an example because she's really good at it. Losing weight. And then we'll come back to yours and I'll go over it. But like Chick-fil-A, Christian chicken, fitness, food, like accountability, you know, you're going to get fitness from her. And then Starbucks, like that's just a picture of her feet. That is a beautiful photo with her favorite ripped jeans and her Starbucks. And so just kind of, and I always look, so one thing I do to get, because I suck at thinking about photos, like cool, different photos. It's always just me smiling. I look at bloggers. You know, like fashion bloggers and stuff like that on Instagram. I follow a lot of bloggers that take like really cool pictures and I'm like, save. And then I'll interpret it into my own way, which can be easier. Pinterest. But it's all just about taking kind of different photos and eye-catching photos. So that's one thing I would work on. Let's look at this. Girl, you get a lot of likes on your photos. So one day ago, so you haven't posted today, and it's 9/17, 2 days ago. So at least that's one. So then we have all the way from February 22nd. And then February 21st, February 19th. So you were a little, and then you miss a few days. So I would definitely work on staying more consistent with how much you post.
Okay.
At least once a day, because right here, we have your day 1, and I know how long ago that was, February 3rd. Right. And then that's in your top 12. And then we have all the way here on March 3rd. So once a day is minimum. So I do twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, but once a day is minimum. And then you're in your stories. We don't have to, people used to, the coaches before Instagram stories literally used to have to post 5 times a day. Could you even fathom having to post 5 times a day?
No.
Because they didn't have stories, the algorithms and stuff. And so we got it easy. We only have to make 1 to 2 posts a day. So that's what I would do. And me personally, and I'll go over kind of how I schedule my posts and stuff after this, but just once in the morning, once in the evening, because you work and your tribe works. They're all, working moms or whatever, or army moms. And so they're usually looking, you have to think when are they usually looking on social media? Before work and after work is most of the time. And so I would just work on, if you can't get both in, it's not a big deal, but at least once a day. And again, make it one of your 5 things. So that's your homework is I better see some Starbucks in here. I better see something about your hubs being in the military, because girl, the military tribe is true and true. Like there is a huge market there.
It is. It's just like, it's so boring, kind of.
It is to you, but not really, because
Right.
you guys have a story.
Yeah, true.
You have a story about how, you guys had a whirlwind. Like you guys got married in like a day.
Literally.
I didn't even get invited to the wedding. That's how quick it was. I didn't even know you were engaged.
I know.
But talk about that. Talk about how you had to, nobody knows that you had to uplift your life to move to New York for him and being in the military, and then you're moving
Right.
all over. You've got a story there. You might not think so, but we all have a story to tell. It's just digging deep and finding that story.
Right.
I feel like I could write an epic story of yours and I'm not even living it. Just think about you. But I would look into doing a consistent filter. If you don't want to do like an Instagram preset, like a Lightroom preset, I would just use like a consistent filter.
See, I am using a Lightroom preset.
Okay. Are you using it consistently on all of them?
Yes, but it depends on the lighting that the photo was taken, and I don't know, like I'm just not really good with all of that. Like sometimes they look so fake when I put the preset on.
Yeah, you have to adjust it. And I am not the best at adjusting it. I can put some videos in our team page about it, but yeah, like I have to adjust the browns and the blues. Sometimes it's all just kind of playing around with it. But I think I have 3 Lightroom presets, and they were all made for different lighting. And so whichever one just looks good, like on my page, you wouldn't know by looking at it, but this is a different preset. This isn't even a preset. I just lighten this. This and this is different. This one and this one's different. Like most of these are all different.
Right.
But they all are kind of in the same, because they don't all look right. Like the blue room, this room only can take like 1 preset, or it looks really bad. And outside takes another preset because of But if it's more foggy, overcast, I have to do a different preset. And it's only 3 different ones, and they all came in a package, but it's just all kind of finding what works best for you. But if not, then just lighten them consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I use an app called Plann, Plann. And what that app does is it lets you see what your page is going to look like before you post it. So you're like, do I like that? Or does it look like crap? Because y'all, we have to think, if we kind of half-ass our pages, then our business is kind of being half-assed. And so like, this is what it looks like. Oh, well, damn it. You can't, like, why does it do that? So that's what, and you can see your feed and add photos so you can see if you like what it looks like. Like, oh, do I want to put like a before and after? Like, I like how you don't have the before and afters on top of each other. I don't know. That's just like a pet peeve of mine. Does anybody else look at people's pages and see like one after another and it's like a pet peeve of theirs?
Well, would I burst your bubble if I tell you I didn't do that on purpose? It just happened to fall like that.
Well, just let it happen. And so I see wife, mom, Fort Drum, food is my only friend, so let's get tacos. Okay. I wouldn't know this part, but I would know all the others from your page. So I know Ethan doesn't like photos. Chris doesn't either. So find other ways to incorporate the military, I guess. Or take pictures of his back. I'm just kidding. All right, let's see. What else do we got? Kind of did mine the other day, but over the rainbow. I like hers though. She's worked hard on it, so we'll go over it. Is this helpful to y'all? I hope so. Because I feel like, I don't know, I had no idea about Lightroom or like Page or Flows or anything when I started because my coach didn't really go over all this. And so I really feel like it's important and it's taken me a lot of time to figure this out. Okay, so you can tell she obviously uses a preset. The only thing, Amanda, and I know I'm probably being tedious, this quote, it doesn't really look like it belongs. It's just, I would have a picture of you with that quote saying, time you enjoy wasting was not wasted, and have a picture of you with like your friends and family or like your friends or drinking a marg and having that. That's my only thing is I'm not a big person on posting quotes unless you're going to consistently post them. Meaning like if you go to some people's pages, you know how they'll have a quote like straight down the middle or I can show you Danielle.
Carries or something.
Yeah, Danielle actually just started this. Shit, that's the wrong person. Danielle Tussing. Oh my gosh, can I not spell today? There she is. So like she's doing like the quotes. Freaking A, dude. Maybe if I didn't have 100 tabs open. You can see how she's like doing the quotes and they're all like in a thing. And that looks good because it's consistent. But like here, all I see is like, oh, she loves fitness. Oh my gosh, she's a dog mom. She loves margaritas. Oh, coffee is her boo. And then a quote. And it just looks kind of random. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I'm going to try to guess your things and then look up. So I see books. So maybe you're like a book nerd. I don't know if that's like sci-fi or something. I don't know. I don't like books as much. I just like to listen to them. Fitness, you're a dog mom and you love some balance and margaritas. And let's see. So spa and beauty. So what is that? Is that spa stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Maybe you guys know my skin routine. I like wake up and like splash water on my face. Pups, plant-based food. So I wouldn't have known. There's not really anything to indicate that because you're vegan, right?
Yeah.
So I would maybe post. I know your food is just as ugly as mine. So maybe talk about it more, or I don't really know. If you're going out and you have nice food pictures, take a couple and so you can sprinkle them in there. Like I do that all the time if I go out and the food looks really good because you guys know I can't cook. I will take pictures of it and I won't post it to sprinkle it in if I'm like wanting a food picture. But if you're going to have the plant-based and like vegan, I would just have some posts about it because a lot of people look for inspiration for vegan and plant-based because there's not much of it and it's hard to cook that way. So if they see somebody with inspiration, they're going to follow it. But if they see that and then there's not anyone there, they're going to be like, I know she likes to drink, but I mean, are margaritas vegan? Like, I don't know.
They definitely are, thank goodness.
They're totally vegan. But I love the preset. I've already told you that. Like I'm obsessed. So you guys see how it's just all cohesive. And she's got that rose gold tint. So when you come to the page, it's just appealing to the eye. But I do have to say, even though you did the quote, I do like that you incorporated the rose gold into the quote.
Okay.
So I did like that. That's a pet peeve of mine. Some people aren't like that. But like if I do quotes, I always do a picture of me with the quote because I feel like nobody will stop to scroll at the quote. But of like a nice picture of me, it'll stop the scroll of it. And then they'll read the quote and it'll tie it in. Because I would have loved to see like you with your girlfriends. I mean, I don't have any friends. I don't know if you do. Like all my friends are virtual, so I don't know. But like, are you enjoying your time? But I like that you have highlights here and that you did photos on that. So that's a big thing too, is if you're doing highlights are awesome because it gives something for people to watch and they never go away. And having like these pictures and they tie into her color scheme. Amanda, you really thought through on that. And I love that. So your page looks good. Now let's look at your posts. So we've got one 11 hours ago, 1 day ago, 3 days ago. So we missed a day, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we only missed 1 day. and it's once a day. And then February 23rd, perfect. This year posting semi-consistently. We want to make sure it's 100%. Now let me read some of the captions. So when I look over my own picture first, okay, so you're talking about the insecurities that you felt, and then you're talking about how you've overcome that with this. Perfect. How cute can anyone say to this? It's so cute. Oh my gosh. I haven't done a single thing on my to-do list today. Instead, I got massaged and laid around in my PJs watching movies. So that would have been cool. Like have a picture of you in your PJs watching the movie, or like popcorn or glass of wine or something like that.
Okay.
Is need to get done. So I like it. The only thing is I feel like we can always dig deeper. And I feel like your stories, it's good. Like you're talking about your insecurities a little bit, but I think it's still surface level.
Okay.
Do you
It probably
feel
is.
that way too?
Yeah, I still haven't done my post where you said to do an uncomfortable, you know.
The one
I
that
still
makes you want
haven't-
to throw up?
Yeah, I haven't
It makes you want to throw up thinking about
done
it?
there yet. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
I know.
So-
Trust me, I know. But it's just that post is gonna help kind of open up that can of worms that you almost probably didn't want to open up. And then all these feelings and emotions are going to come through. And then like after I did that post, I literally had like pages of different like post ideas because I opened up that can of worms and it just started overflowing. And that's where you're going to start finding your tribe. Like we all have the insecurities with our arms and stuff like that, but it's when we're digging a little deeper and talking about the stuff that kind of stings a little bit because other people are like, holy crap, like she feels that exact same way as I do. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you guys have found something on my page. That's why you joined me that resonated with you that were like, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. You want to give that to somebody. And that's for all of y'all. You want to have somebody read your page and think, oh my gosh, I thought I was the only one. Because that is when you're talking specifically to your person. And our people are just us before Beachbody. Like our tribe is just us before Beachbody. And so we just have to hone in on who that was and start talking about it. And it takes time. Like my post at the beginning, if you guys scroll back, I need to do a PowerPoint. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a PowerPoint of how bad I was at the beginning. Because you guys see how good I am now. Toot my own horn here. And you're like, well, yeah, but mine was bad. So I never shared because it made me uncomfortable. It made me want to cry. All I did was sweaty selfies. I did like ugly graphics. It was bad. Maybe if we have some time at the end of this call, I'll talk about it. But these are all the things that are going to come as you develop as a coach and as you develop in your personal development. And so that's why personal development is so key. But I think your page looks amazing. I love it. And it's obvious that you've used stories today, and that's a perfect amount. Whew, that was an odd story to come up to. Muscles and mom life. My Alyssa, sweetie. Hey, boo-boo. All right, here we go. All right, so we've got fitness, baby, food. Oh, that one's really cool looking. I don't really know what it is. Okay, so I know I've told you this, Alyssa, but it's like your colors, they're still kind of like all over the place. And I know you're working on it. So that's one thing I would say. I do see a lot of like purples in it and a lot of like bright colors. So is that where you're kind of going towards is purples? Is she on here still?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely struggling with my color scheme. Plus I'm having a hard time planning because every time I think I have a good like vibe, I just feel like the more I'm posting, then like everything's like getting moved around. I'm trying to watch more videos on it.
Yeah. So like I said, I would use that plan app, the PLANN, so you can see.
Yeah, I heard you say that.
Yeah, so you can see what it looks like. And I can put it in the chat so you guys can have it.
Yeah, will you do that, please?
And there's several of them. That's just the one I use. But I would just look at it like that. And you can, because I think like that's something sort of what Amanda did, because she sent it to me. She like put the preset over a few pictures and said, did this look good? And sent it to me. And I'm good with y'all doing that because you guys know I'll be honest. So that's one thing I would, of course, work on. And I like that you're starting to add in, I see a photo here of you've just got still a lot of sweaty selfies. And I don't know much more about you other than you're into fitness and you're a mom.
Yeah.
And so let me see what your things are. So 2-time C-section, postpartum fighter. So I probably would would I read your stories and see that you've suffered from postpartum? Let me see. I can't remember any right off the top of my head. So that one's not. Oh, you're about to be 3. Oh, so that's talking about being a mom and sleepless nights. So I'm sure you've got a big story with that postpartum depression. And like Ashley said, so Ashley went over yours. This bio is amazing because it's super honed in and specific and you know what you're going to get, but you just have to make sure your posts kind of go off of that. You know what I mean, Alyssa? And so you just have to make sure that you have posts that talk about your postpartum depression and talk about maybe how you overcame, because I'm sure your baby is still young, so you might still be struggling with it a little bit. I don't know if you are, or you might have just gotten over it. So you have pointers and stuff that you can give to other mamas that could be struggling with postpartum depression and how you helped get off of that. And you're like, ice cream is on my diet plan. So I would love to see more balanced photos, maybe of you eating ice cream or of you enjoying more balanced things in life. Because the first thing I look at is just sweaty selfies and mom. And I know you're working on it, but that's just kind of where I would go with that. But I do like that you have highlights and you have the covers over them. Oh, one of them you're missing. I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
And
so I literally took highlights from my entire 6 weeks of my journey and I put it in a story.
Ooh, I like that.
So it literally is from day one of me joining Beachbody.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm kind of proud of it. I hope people are looking at it. That's my coming out post.
I need to look at that. I need to do something like that. It's been on my to-do list. I just haven't. Muscles and mom life. So yeah, that's what I would just work on is less sweaty selfies.
Yeah.
I love you and I love to see you sweat, but not that much.
No. I want more pictures of me not being sweaty because I'm not just working out,
Yeah. So that, I would take more pictures of the balance and stuff like that. This food picture looks really bad. I'm sorry. I'm really, yeah, I don't know. If food for me, if you're taking a food picture, it needs to be offset a little further, or you eating it or something, or have a background to it. It's not just the food. You know what I mean? I'm going to go to Danielle because she's been doing amazing, and I don't even know how Danielle Tussing her food because she takes a lot of food. How am I not spelling her name right? Don't tell her I'm doing that. So you see how she's done that?
Yes.
The food, it's a background and it's posed.
Right. Yep.
That background is literally her gym mat. And I'm blown away at how good that looks. But you can.
So how does she get her so that see how it's offset with the quote? I don't know. I guess I'm just
I never could do that. I'm not smart enough to do that.
Yeah, it's that takes legit you.
That's why I don't post. If you go to my page, you won't see a quote. I don't post quotes because I'm not smart enough to do that. You literally, I mean, it won't load, but you won't see a quote. You see quotes here we go.
Quotes in your caption.
Yeah. I'll have quotes in my captions all day long. Right there's a quote, or here's a quote. Here's a quote. I'll have quotes in my caption all day long, but I just won't. Oh, my Lanta. Sorry, I had to mute you. Say quotes, but I don't post them because I'm not smart enough to try to figure that out.
Hey, don't slam it.
I post mine after every 4 photos. Well, 4 photos, and then I'll post a quote.
Okay. And that looks good because it's cohesive. You guys see what I'm seeing, what she's saying? Right there, right there. Right there, right there. And she's got a consistent white background on them. Charmaine's page is amazing. Let's just look at that for a second. Like, it's bright, it's light, and so you can see her 5 things. And it's just, this is, y'all, Instagram is not something that just comes naturally. Like, we don't just automatically take amazing photos and think, oh, let me prop it up on the freaking gas pump. Like, we don't just normally think of that. It's what you just kind of, when you are getting into the mindset of knowing you have content, it's one, do we have any more? And then I can chat a little bit about it. Let's see. Maddie Zim. Yeah, mine ain't very deep yet. Yeah, yours ain't, because you just started coaching, but we can look at it. Yeah, Sarah, I wouldn't know you're a pre-K teacher from my ass if I didn't know you. Love you, though.
It's hard to post things like that though, because like it's not like I can share a picture of my kids. You know what I mean?
But do you do like crafts with them? Maybe you go and buy like crafty
but
stuff.
like
I don't know. I look at all those teachers' Instagrams and they got pictures of like classrooms and stuff. I don't know.
Well, mine is very strict because it is on the military installation. That's my problem. Like I can't.
That's probably not just going to be part of your story.
Right, like that, like it's a big part of me, but I don't think it is, because like I don't have my phone in the classroom. I can't take a picture in the classroom because God forbid if like one of their identities got out or something like that, like then that's my job and that's my career, and I'm just not willing to like risk that, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't either. So, I mean, you can talk about it in your stories or stuff like that, but that's just not something that can be a big part of your life because you can't share much about it.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about that. That doesn't have to be one of your 5 things. So, Maddie. So I see lots of blues. You love to be outdoors. So that's one thing that could be. I don't know if you're super into traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. I work as an athletic trainer, so I have summers off. So like the lake one was actually, I went with my boyfriend who is a coach recruiting in Utah, and we went hiking.
Yeah. So have you thought, I know she's brand spanking new, y'all. She's like just off the turnip truck coaching. Like she's brand spanking new. So have you thought of your 5 things? Like what are those 5 things that describe you and the kind of person that you want to be? Because that's what you're going to, I keep just saying these 5 things. So what the 5 things are is what you're going to post about. Because of course we're your fitness through and through. You bleed fitness because you're an athletic trainer. You've always been into sports and fitness and stuff like that. It's just, I know from your personal story, it's just that kind of helping others with their fitness kind of overtook your fitness. And so I know fitness is of course going to be a big one, but what are the other things like not centered around fitness that you want to post about consistently that people know when they come to your page, that's what they're going to get consistently. And that's just something you're going to have to think about and kind of hone in deep on who you are and what you want. But if traveling's one, like Marissa's is traveling. So when she travels, she takes like a crap ton of photos and sprinkles them. Like you don't post them all. You like, it's like seasoning. You just sprinkle them on. But that's one thing that you're going to get within your training and when we talk. But that's one thing I want you to start thinking about is like, what are those 5 things? Like, what are those 5 things that make up Maddie?
Well, definitely traveling.
And that's perfect. So we've got traveling and we've got fitness, and then you've got 3 more that you got to think.
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
cat mom.
athletic training is, cat mom.
Are you the crazy cat
who
lady?
needs to be on Beachbody because he weighs 25 pounds, but there they are.
But yeah,
my job is hard because it's like, it's also like, obviously it's getting them back into shape, but it's also like injury evaluation and sports coverage and like the whole HIPAA violation. Ooh. So it's hard for like, besides like if I travel with the team and just posting vaguely about it, like it's hard to, again, you can't like give out information about what you're doing necessarily.
So maybe that's not a part of like, maybe your job, like that's one thing, like our jobs don't always have to be like a part of like my job. State Farm was not a part of my 5 things. Like, you barely knew that I worked at State Farm, except now that I talk about it all the time because I don't work there anymore. But like being insurance and that was just my job and it was my career, yeah, but I didn't feel like it described who I was. If you feel like athletic trainer is like who you are, you bleed athletic training, that's who you want to attract is other like athletic trainers, then I would find creative ways to kind of intertwine it. But if you don't feel like that's something that you're like, well, I mean, it's my job, but I don't know if that's like I want everybody to know that's what I do kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because your 5 things have to be things you're passionate about. Things that you excite you, things that get your motor running, things that, you know, that you can talk about and it come off authentically and excited and passionate about. If we're not like, I wasn't passionate about insurance, I wasn't going to post about it because it would have just been like, F this, I had to go into work today, like whatever. But you just got to kind of find a creative way in there. And like I said, oh, you're storying. I love that. She's got stories. Yay. All right. There we go. And she's talking. That is a big
Yeah, my car wouldn't start this morning.
I know you said that in the text message, but that's a big thing for me, a pet peeve. If somebody doesn't talk on their Instagram stories.
Yeah, that's new. We're trying that.
I don't listen.
And I have like this page, and then I have a different one that I pretty much just had for like keeping me motivated to work out over the past like couple months. So that one has like 90% of like working out and all that kind of stuff on it.
I like that you made this page your Beachbody page though, because this is where your warm market is. This is where the ones and stuff is, and that fitness one is probably just a bunch of like a few random people, but this is your warm market and these are the people that love and trust you, and so they're going to start seeing this and seeing the excitement and seeing all the posts, and they're going to be a lot more prone while you're building up that cold market. So I like that you made that decision. All right, do we have anyone else? Doesn't look like it. Anybody else want me to go through it and then we can go over some tips and stuff? Anybody else? No? Can you do mine? Yeah, of course, Courtney. Carla, yeah, can y'all? I know Carla's. Courtney, I look at yours. I just don't know. There we go. Off the couch knee. I knew it was couch knee something. Couch knee, whatever. Here we go. Carla squats a lot. I giggle every time I see that. Is that only me? No? Okay. All right. So we storied. Let's take a look. So we've got a few. I love how you guys, you can tell one of my things because do you see how many Duncan people I attract? I love that she's doing her workout. I mean, Sarah's an exception because I knew her before, so I couldn't like pick and choose her. And Charmaine, I don't know how that happened, but most of you guys are Duncan fans. I love that. Okay. So food. She's a wife and a mama. She's into fitness. Let's see what her things are. Mother of 2 and passionate of fitness. Well, that's only her 2 things in her bio. So in your bio, I would get more specific. I would add a little bit more because this doesn't really say much about you. Like, yeah, you're a mom and you're passionate about fitness, but is there other things that interest you or are there other things you want to post about? Because I like the idea of having your 5 things or at least 4 of the 5 in that bio so people know what they're going to get when they come to your page. But right now, that's what they're getting is fitness and mom life. I don't see anything else. And so that's one thing. I do see a very cohesive colors. So it's brights and you're using a cohesive filter. So I do like that. And I see mom, this is kind of random, but I know it looks like an old school picture maybe. And fitness, but I do like you're using the cohesive filter. So it looks good. Okay. I would work on posting more pretty pictures of you, like selfies or further away and adding other things. What else describes you other than fitness and being a mom? Like what else are your things?
So my other things is basically outside in Florida, just like outdoor Florida life, and then being a dog mom, and then mental health, but I don't quite know how to, like I talk about it a lot in my stories. There he is. Quotes in about it, but I don't quite know how to capture it with a photo.
You're doing good about being a dog mom?
Well, like the mental health part.
Oh, the mental health part? I mean, you can only do that in captions. It's really hard to do mental health in pictures. And so that's when I'm looking at captions and I'm seeing, so you're talking about how you've done 6 weeks. You're talking about the story there. I think the perfect pictures to go along with mental health is just a plain selfie of you smiling and then talking about where you were.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like where you were, how you got there, and what your solution was and what other people's solutions are. Because that's what thing is like, we talk about where we were and we talk about how far we've come and what the solution was. So we know people, when they read that first part, we have a solution for them. And we're not indirectly inviting them. Like, we're not inviting people to every single post. We're not doing calls to action in every single post, but we're triggering, with our story. And so for the mental health part, I would just do like a picture of you. Like, I don't see any like pretty selfie pictures, which I know is hard as a mom and we stay at home. It's a struggle, trust me. But like a picture like this and talking about it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I see that you've put a lot more effort into your pictures and they're brighter and you've edited a lot more. So that looks good. So I see the dirt road. You're probably talking about the outdoors here. Over every mountain, there's a path. Let's face it, it's tough. I mean, tough. So you're talking about the path. I like that because there's a path and story and it's outdoors. So yeah, I would just maybe get more pictures of you outdoors, which is hard, especially but again, propping phones up.
Okay.
That's what I do. But yeah, that's what I would just hone in more on your 5 things.
Okay.
And that's just going to take a little bit more reflection. But if you want outdoors to be one of yours, I would just have a lot more outdoor photos of you in the outdoors. Cause I see one in the strawberries, but other than that, there's not much.
Okay.
Oh, there's a beach. Oh, Riley is obsessed with beach right now. All she wants to do is go to the beach.
Oh, it's beautiful down here. We've spent the whole weekend in the pool, beach.
Oh, are you close to the beach?
Yeah, I'm a half hour away.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. All right, here we go. All right, so we've got stories. So we've got a few. I love that she's doing her workouts. And we've got here. Okay. So I would definitely work on your photo taking. Not your photo taking, but the editing. So like brightening or investing in a good Lightroom preset. It's cohesive, but it is like cohesively kind of dollar. Do you know what I mean there, Court?
Because I bought a package that had like 10 to 11, but it's like someone else. It's hard to get them to look the same. Is my problem. So I'm trying to get better at that.
And they don't have to look the same as long as they're in like the same like scheme. You know what I mean? Like all mine don't look the same. Some of them I'm whiter, some of them I'm darker. They don't all look the same, but if you see, they're kind of like all in the same family.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see this one's obviously not the same as this one. Like that's obvious. And like this one is not the same as this one, but they're all kind of like in the same. And that one, I mean, I can't help how she edited it, but just making sure it's like in the same family. So what this is preset and stuff.
It's starting with the one to the right of the baby photo is when I started using presets.
I like
the baby photo one. I didn't really know how to do that one.
I wouldn't either. But you're so cute. Look at the belly.
I know.
You're so cute. But yeah, so I can tell these are cohesive. I would brighten it up a little bit more though. Mm-hmm. So when the preset, they're not always right where you're going to be like, okay, that's it, So I would still brighten it up a little bit, but I can tell. So I see that you love food. Who doesn't, right? If you're on my TV, you gotta love food. It's like a given. Fitness. And then that's all I see right now. And friends and family. What are your 5 things? Craft beer. So I don't see any beer. That's a margarita. Doesn't count.
There's one, but it's that group shot. We're all holding one, but it's not like
Yeah.
your face.
So like, yeah. So exactly like Marissa's too. She's craft beer. If one of your things in your bio is going to be, then you want to make sure it's at least within every 9 photos. Like mine is mine's Dunkin' and margarita. So I make sure like I'm sober right now, but I am posting photos. Like I have been sober for the last 3 weeks, not by choice. But like you can see, I just passed it, but well, where did it go? There it is. Like I have a margarita right there, even though I've been sober for a while. And so it's just kind of making sure you're being intentional with what you're having there. So living and loving life. And so I do see that because you're with your friends and family. You've got friends all over, which is perfect, and dedicated to helping women. And so I like that. And plus you've only been a coach for a little bit. So I like that you've kind of figured out your things and you're posting more about it. So let's look at captions and how much. So 9 hours ago, I'm tired of hanging snooze on my life. I don't want to. I love that. I'm just working on next week. I don't want to. Talking about your stories. I love that. And it's a call to action. Perfect. Drop an emoji. And life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. I like that. Do you see how she used the quote, but it was like a picture of her overlooking and not just the quote. So I like that you did that. And then you're giving a story about why you're using that quote. I love that. I like food. I'm going to enjoy this tonight and get back on track tomorrow. Perfect. So I would dig a little deeper. I feel like we all can dig deeper. And I'm going to say that to everybody. I feel like even myself, I feel like sometimes I can dig deeper and kind of really think what our story is, what were our struggles, and kind of hone in on each of those in different posts. And again, that's going to make you kind of want to throw up, and that's going to make you kind of want to run and hide. But those are the posts that are going to connect with your tribe the most. And so I would just keep working on the personal development and keep trying to dig a little deeper. But your page is coming along great. And those are looking cohesive. I would just brighten them up a little bit more. I like that you have this covers over here and you're storying. So I think yours looks good and you're staying consistent. That's all we can do is just keep posting. And then your page, like y'all, our pages are going to change. Like I wish I'd been using the exact same presets since September like July, and they all look different. Like from there to now, it looks completely different, and they're the exact same presets. I wish this would let it freaking load, but it's not letting it load. Gosh. I'll post it in the team page, but like they're the exact same preset. So yours is going to change. It's just as your brand evolves and as you kind of come into the coach you are, because y'all, again, we're all baby coaches. Like I'm a baby coach still. So we're still all trying to figure out the kind of coach we are. So as we figure that out more, it's going to evolve more. And so I'm going to leave you guys with a few tips and then we're going to get off because we got 4 minutes. So my biggest tips, and if this is you going, since I didn't look at all of your guys' Instagram, is look at your Instagram and see, are you posting once a day, every single day? That is the biggest thing, is you've got to post once a day, every single day, at least. I would shoot for 2, but once a day at least. Are you storying consistently, showing your life, your workouts or your photos, or just in your life in general? And then are you developing a color story? So what I would do is, if you're taking pictures, and like me, my room is teal. So obviously my colors are blue and pastels because that's what the color of my room is. And so I would figure out what your colors are going to be. If your walls are really white, maybe your color story is more white. Like Charmaine's takes a lot of pictures in like out in the under by white walls and stuff like that. So her colors are more white. So you've just got to see where your surroundings are. Like if you want your color story to be white, but your room is brown, it's just not going to happen. Or you're going to have to get really freaking creative and that's going to be exhausting. So you've got to kind of look at what you have and what you can do. So that's one thing, is develop a color story. And I'm not saying you have to use Lightroom presets or anything like that, but at least use an editing app. Heather said Visco is really good. I used to use that. Snapseed is really good. I use that alongside my Lightroom and Lightroom. Those are all really good color editing apps. And then dig deep. I cannot tell you guys enough the power in your story. And I know if you're thinking, well, I don't have a story, or, my life is really boring. Like y'all, I don't leave my house. I am still in my workout clothes from earlier today. The only time I left my house was to pick up my kid and go to the freaking post office. So I don't leave my house either, but it's all kind of just taking advantage of when you do finally get dressed or when you do finally get ready, and talking about your life and knowing that your life isn't just at home. I mean, you have a story. What brought you to Beachbody? What were your struggles? What do you struggle with still on a daily basis? What do your days look like? If you're a military wife, talk about when your husband's gone and you're in the bed alone. Or if you are single, ready to mingle, talk about the dating world. I don't know. But like, just talk about the things that really resonate with you, because it's one thing to post on social media. Everyone can do that. But it's another thing to kind of tell a story with your posts. And I cannot tell you guys enough the power of storytelling. I very rarely post a photo and just say like, done with my workout, or like just for shits and giggles. Like sometimes I do, but most of the time I'm telling a story, even if it's a funny story. Like I'm not saying you got to have every post heavy, but like have like some lightweight, like I'm over here eating a burger or like whatever. And I'm not doing anything heavy, but I'm still talking about like something funny. You know, when you come and make a post, you're going to look at, are you making it to inform them, entertain them, or help them? Like, are you providing value, entertainment, and those are the things. And if you're not providing value, or you're not providing entertainment, or if you're not informing them of something, then you don't need to post it. And that's one thing. Are you informing, presenting value, giving them value, or, offering assistance of some sort? And if they're not, then it's not worth the post. It's just a waste of a post. So I hope this was helpful. And I hope to see some amazing Instagrams. And again, Lightroom presets and stuff, they're so confusing, but the best thing to do if you really want to level up the game, just GTS. Google that shit. Watch some YouTube videos. I literally binge watched some YouTube videos. This guy, Letty's husband, I'll have to pull his page up. He does a lot of tutorials, which is nice, and they've actually got some presets too. So I can post that in the team page under this. But I'm gonna let y'all scoot because it's 10 o'clock. I want to turn your cameras on if you can, so I can get a picture. And then we will do this again. We'll do this again. All right, hold on. Let me